Chapter 102 Team Ling. The big-headed man shook his head. No, we can't. This Starlight auction house is under the control of the Douluo Empire. Furthermore, there will definitely be people acting as security for such a top-ranked auction. I can feel at least 4 different powerful auras here. There are 4 titled Douluo here. Do you want to die? Unless our sect elders are here, we won't be able to achieve anything good. Relax. This 100,000-year soul beast embryo is not so easily absorbed. So what if they manage to win the bid for it? As long as we can identify the right target, we can always get it back. Similar situations to this played out across the several guest rooms. It was just the methods they used to seek out information that were different. With the secret cooperation of the Starlight auction house, how could the identities of the members of the Sun Moon Empire Soul Engineering Academy remain a secret? The figure of 150 million golden soul coins did not continue to soar any further. This astronomical figure was frightening to everyone, no matter how powerful they were. As expected, they've all been scared by me. In the second guest room, Xiao Hingchen snorted and turned his head towards Eldamar. Then, he said, Eldamar, this treasure is a knotty problem for us. Our safety cannot be guaranteed during the handover and takeover process at this auction. Once the exchange is done, bring it back to our academy immediately and pass it to our ancestor. Once it enters the illustrious Virtue Hall, let's see who'll dare to harbor any ill intentions. Eldamar nodded and said, this should be the case. We must still try our best to remain low profile. It's rare to see an auction item that's worth hundreds of millions in the history of the continent. I will return through the secret passageway that the illustrious Virtue Hall is in Douluo City. The first guest room. The Douluo Emperor listened to all the news that was being conveyed to him, and the smile on his face became brighter and brighter. 150 million. Illustrious Virtue Hallmaster, I hope you like this gift I'm giving you. After he finished speaking, he stood up slowly, and the soul screen in front of him tore in half. Then, the figure of this Douluo Emperor disappeared within that secret passageway. The secret passageway of every guest room opened to allow the guests that had participated in the bidding to leave secretly. Shrek Academy was no exception. Wang Yan did not keep these things to himself this time. The tyrannical tiger soul blade was paid for by Dao Yahang, but he kept this rare, Class 8 close combat soul tool in his pocket. As for that entire set of Class 6 stationary soul cannon shells, he directly passed them to Hikeitu. Regarding soul tools, no one in Shrek Academy was as knowledgeable as him. It was best for him to hold on to the items. Hikeitu put the 12 shells away carefully. He was so excited that his tanned face swelled with red. Even though the shells were only Class 6, they could not be underestimated. They could not be measured based on ordinary soul tools, as they could only be used once. The power of these Class 6 shells were more frightening than Class 8 long-range soul tools. Right now, the most powerful shells that Shrek Academy knew of were only Class 8. A Class 8 shell could crush a small-sized city, and it was only produced in limited quantities by the Sun Moon Empire as a weapon in battles. Wang Yan specially instructed him not to use them during the tournament. At this time, everyone had only just returned to the Grand Imperial Star Hotel quietly. Tomorrow, they were going to face a tough opponent. After returning to their rooms, Hua Yuao and Wang Dong started their cultivation as usual. As the Hadong power was summoned and was supplemented by the golden light left arm bone, the two of them entered a state of meditation. Hua Yuao did not know that the Sky Dream Ice Worm and Ice Empress were communicating through their minds in the spiritual sea. Humans are becoming more and more evil. They are already our clan members. The Ice Empress said furiously. The Sky Dream Ice Worm sighed. What's the point of getting angry? Can you change anything by being like this? Furthermore, from a certain standpoint, we can no longer treat ourselves as soul beasts after we fused with Yuao. We are now a part of Yuao, and perhaps a part of the humans too. This world is about the survival of the fittest. Humans have killed countless soul beasts. However, what happened when there were humans tens of thousands of years ago, when the continent was just created? They were just food for us soul beasts. The Ice Empress seemed to calm down slightly. Humans are frightening creatures. There are many powerful soul beasts that have lived for tens of thousands of years, such as the both of us. However, we have only remained as soul beasts for as long as the continent has existed. What we have improved are only our powers too. But look at the humans. They created cities and invented all sorts of cultivation techniques. They even have soul tools that are increasingly threatening to our existence. I am truly worried that soul beasts will disappear from the face of this world in times to come. The Sky Dream Iceworm said, it's possible. Our greatest flaw is that we are not united. The stronger a soul beast, the more it'll act in this way. Take you for an example. Would your Ice Jade Scorpion clan be willing to team up with the Titan Snow Devils under the Titan Snow Devil King? The humans possess a significant advantage over any of our species. At the same time, humans are adept in inventions and thinking. We are unable to match up to them in these aspects. They are the dominant ones on the continent now, and they will continue to be so in the future. The Ice Empress was a little stunned as she said, I couldn't tell. You were really able to tell everything clearly. The Sky Dream Iceworm said proudly, if not, do you think I've been sleeping for these few million years that I've lived? Weren't you? The Ice Empress replied as she acted stunned. Of course not. The Sky Dream Iceworm was a little cross as he retorted. The Ice Empress seemed to feel much better, and sighed slightly before saying, after losing my power that could control everything around me, I'm actually thinking more than I did in the past. Although the humans are powerful, us soul beasts were the rulers of this world much earlier. Perhaps we're not very united now. However, us soul beasts will retaliate against the humans when their existence affects our survival. Whatever goes, the Sky Dream Iceworm answered lazily. Anyway, I'm only just a soul ring now. As long as Yuao is fine, I don't care about anything else. Don't force Yuao either. He is already working very hard. There's one phrase by the humans that's well said. Everything has to be done just right. Come, let's sleep together for a while. Who's sleeping with you? The Ice Empress said tempestuously. The Sky Dream Iceworm snorted and said, we don't have bodies now, and are sealed in Yuao's spiritual sea. If we're not sleeping together, then what are we doing? Whether you're going to admit it or not, can't I just visualize it for myself? Wahahaha. You rascal. Beside my favorite little scorpion. Sleep. The Sky Dream Iceworm went silent, and the Ice Empress eventually laughed after being cross for half the day. Rascal, I wouldn't have let you take advantage of me if I wasn't destined to fail in my attempt to break through the bottleneck. It's weird. Why did I feel a sense of familiarity when I saw that soul beast embryo today? Don't tell me that it's a 100,000-year soul beast that comes from the extreme north, but if it's only just a new 100,000-year soul beast that is preparing to be reborn as a human, why did I feel such a sense of familiarity? Early the next morning, the sun rose over a clear day in Douluo Plaza. After breakfast, the bustling crowd in Douluo Plaza could be clearly seen from afar if one stood at the corridor in front of the window. The round of 16 was divided into 4 matches every day for 4 days. As the previous title holders of this tournament, the Shrek Academy would be the first to compete. Their opponent was the Doulu Imperial Soul Academy that had 5 Soul Kings, and which was the top academy in the Doulu Empire. Wang Dong placed his hands on Hua Yuao's shoulder and asked, what are you thinking of? Are you nervous or excited? Hua Yuao laughed cheekily and said, neither. I was just thinking about whether we'll set a record as the youngest to become champions if we do become champions. Wang Dong chuckled, what a kid. Wait till you become the champion. Hua Yuao snapped at him. You dare to lecture me even though you are younger than me. Are you that unconfident? Don't forget that we have already. Don't say it. Wang Dong covered his mouth and pushed his words back down his throat. Hua Yuao also understood. He scratched his head and wrenched his hands away. I was just a little excited. Wang Dong snorted and said, do you think that I can't see that look of complacency in your eyes? Don't forget that no matter how powerful our soul skills are, our current cultivations are not sufficient yet. Little kid, know your place. We are not the main forces. Hua Yuao forward and said, little Wang Dong, you are indeed my mentor. Thanks for the reminder. Honestly speaking, the Ice Jade Scorpion left arm bone did not make me lose my calm. It's just that I can't repress my excitement from the success of our experiment. It seems like we are destined to be together. Wang Dong turned red and retorted, nonsense. Who's destined to be together with you? Hua Yuao replied cheekily. Why are you blushing? You must be thinking of something wayward. It's fine if you're young and never learned what's right, but your mind is full of dirty thoughts. Hua Yuao, are you looking to be whacked? Wang Dong grabbed his shoulder. Hua Yuao turned his body and dodged. As the two of them horsed around, Wang Yan coincidentally walked out of his room. Hua Yuao dodged until he hit Wang Yan in the back, and Wang Dong did not manage to grab him in time. Wang Yan laughed. What are the both of you doing? Today, the Shrek Academy was about to send its strongest lineup from its team for the tournament. Hence, Wang Yan was much more relaxed. With two Soul Emperors holding the fort and his own arrangements and strategy, surely victory was theirs. Huo Yuao laughed and said, "Nothing. Someone is just experiencing seizures. You are the one having seizures." Wang Dong replied in fury. He chased after Huo Yuao, but Huo Yuao did not run away this time. After he was caught, he immediately straightened his look and said, "Stop playing. We're about to compete soon. Remaining calm will help us keep ourselves in the best condition. You." Coming up with this trick again, Wang Dong tugged his ears, and Huo Yuao screamed in pain. Fortunately, everyone else came out from their rooms at this moment and gathered together to leave the hotel. Huo Yuao managed to avert a crisis just like that. However, there were more coincidences today. When they reached the staircase, the members of the Sun Moon Imperial Soul Engineering Academy came out of their room at the same time. Both teams descended the staircase together. Today, Elder Ma wasn't the one leading the Sun Moon Imperial Soul Engineering Academy. He smiled and nodded towards Wang Yan. Wang Yan returned the formality, but the students of both academies were not so cordial towards one another. Xiao Hingchen spotted Huo Yuao almost immediately, and his face flashed with the smile of a victor. He smiled. "Twin martial souls, you are brilliant." Although Wang Dong and Huo Yuao were disturbing each other earlier, Wang Dong stood up for Huo Yuao without any hesitation at this point and said sarcastically, "Uncle, who are you?" Uncle." Xiao Hingchen opened his eyes wide as he looked at Wang Dong. He pointed to his nose and said, "Are you calling me?" Wang Dong seemed innocent and unaffected as he said, "Of course I am, Uncle." Xiao Hingchen was not even 15 years old. Although he often seemed very arrogant, he was not that old. The short moustache above his lips was a symbol of his youth. But now, Wang Dong made it seem like it was a symbol of a middle-aged man. Am I so old? Xiao Hingchen was speechless as he stared wide-eyed at Wang Dong. Wang Dong was very serious as he nodded his head and said, "You're not that old. You must be the teacher of the Sun Moon Imperial Soul Engineering Academy. Uncle, stop calling me uncle." Xiao Hingchen felt as if he was going to go berserk. Normally, he was one who liked to flaunt himself, such that no one apart from his sister Meng Hingchen was willing to help him. Instead, they wanted to laugh. Meng Hingchen was annoyed as she said, "Little fellow, take a careful look. My brother is only 14 years old. He has not even reached 15 years. He is no uncle." Wang Dong turned to Meng Hingchen, and the look in his eyes suddenly changed. It was a weird look that carried 30% admiration, 60% attachment and 10% yearning. "Elder sister, you are a ravishing beauty." Meng Hingchen was stunned as he said that. It was important to note that when Wang Dong had first entered the academy, he caught the eyes of almost the entire batch of young girls, including those from his class. He had charming, big pinkish blue eyes, and pinkish blue short hair that covered his forehead. His skin was tender and white, while his delicate face had a pink complexion. To every girl, he was like a lady killer. Although Meng Hingchen was older than Wang Dong and Huo Yuao, it was only by a year. Looking at this young man who was around the same height as her and so attractive too, Meng Hingchen's face blushed as she was complimented. She muttered, "You are very handsome too." Wang Dong smiled and said, "So this uncle is your elder brother. Is he your biological brother? Why do the both of you look so dissimilar? Although the both of you come from the same parents, the gap in looks is too stark. Rascal, do you want to get beaten up?" Xiao Hingchen could not tolerate it any further. Not only did Wang Dong call him old, he even implied that he was ugly. He could not bear it any further. "Elder brother, why are you so fierce?" Meng Hingchen looked at the frantic Wang Dong and could not help but pull her brother away. "Meng, are you for real?" Xiao Hingchen was stunned as he looked at his own sister. Right now, Wang Dong had already shot him a provocative look before leaving the hotel with Huo Yuao quickly. As he walked, he waved goodbye to Meng Hingchen. "Wang Dong, you're good." Huo Yuao was shocked as he said, "I didn't expect that you were capable of picking up girls too." Wang Dong snorted and said, "You don't know about this, but many young ladies have fallen in love with me. There are many ways to pick up girls, but it's a pity that." "What's there to pity?" Huo Yuao asked casually. Wang Dong glared at him and said, "Nothing." "Huo Yuao, do you know what the highest level of picking up girls is?" Huo Yuao shook his head ignorantly. Wang Dong replied seriously, "It's to make them chase you on their own." Haha. Bei, who was walking in front, had been noticing all the movements behind him. He could not help but laugh, and shook his head as he said, "These little fellows are really active." Shu Sanchi was beside him, and he said softly, "I think Wang Dong is very great. Seems like I should learn from him." Bei looked at him disdainfully and answered, "What nonsense do you want to learn? His methods of picking up girls are built on his looks. Do you have his looks? If you were half as handsome as I am, you wouldn't be in this state. You are the nonsensical one." Shu Sanchi retorted, "I can't pick up girls because who kicked my butt?" When he turned around and saw Zhang Nanan's infuriated look, he became honest and slapped himself. He tried to appease her. "I won't say. Rest assured that I won't tell anyone." Zhang Nanan ignored him and quickened her steps to overtake him. The situation was rather weird now. The members of Shrek Academy were walking in front, whereas those of the Sun Moon Imperial Soul Engineering Academy followed behind them. Many of the champions and runners-up of recent tournaments streamed into Douluo Plaza. Perhaps the Douluo Empire had allowed more spectators in, as the Douluo Plaza seemed to have a larger crowd than usual. People were packed in extremely tightly. As heads bobbed up and down, that was all the majority of people were able to see. The resting area for the tournament felt very empty now. Most of the teams had been eliminated, and the 16 teams that remained were the representatives of the top academies on the continent. Today, 4 matches would be held. Tomorrow, another 4 matches would be held. After that, there would be 2 more days of individual competition against the same opponents. When all 4 days of competition had ended, the round of 16 would conclude, and the 8 finalists would be decided. After each stage of the tournament, there would be 1 rest day. Following that, the tournament would continue. Both Shrek Academy and the Sun Moon Imperial Soul Engineering Academy would feature in today's 4 rounds, but the Sun Moon Imperial Soul Engineering Academy's match was in the afternoon, and they did not have to come in the morning. However, they still came to watch how Shrek Academy would perform against the 5 Soul Kings of the Douluo Imperial Soul Academy. After settling down in the resting area, Wang Dong did not forget to smile at both Xiao Hingchen and his sister. Xiao Hingchen felt that he was obviously being provocative, but to Meng Hingchen, Wang Dong's bright and beautiful smile made her heart beat faster. Huo Yuao tugged at Wang Dong's arm and said, "Stop playing. Be careful of going overboard." Wang Dong groaned and said, "What? Are you jealous? Are you interested in that girl?" Huo Yuao answered him softly, "Stop harboring dirty thoughts. Will you?" Wang Dong laughed coldly and said, "I wonder who's the one with all the dirty thoughts. All right, I won't bother you anymore. I'll get ready to fight." The elimination rounds would be held across 2 days, and today was the team competition. The victor of the team competition could be said to be 1 foot into the quarterfinals of the tournament. The individual elimination rounds would be held the next day. Wang Yan was serious as he stood in front of everyone. "Act according to our strategy. The Douluo Imperial Soul Academy must have their reasons for intentionally losing first place in the qualifier round, or they must have some special preparations. This round is critical to both parties. Hence, we must not give them any shred of opportunity." As he saw Ma Xiaodao's look of disapproval, Wang Yan said in a low voice, "Don't forget what the consequences were when we were careless in front of the envoy of the Death God. All these years, Shrek Academy has been the champion of the Continental Advanced Spellmaster Academy Soul Dueling Tournament. However, we have also become everyone's target for that same reason. I think it's fair to say that every participating academy will have done their research on us. Following the development of soul tools, there are more and more strategies now. Do not underestimate our opponents. Whoever is not interested in carrying out my strategy can forget about competing in the next round." Upon remembering the envoy of the Death God that had heavily hurt the official team members, everyone felt a chill in their hearts. Ma Xiaodao looked up to Wang Yan. Although she was a little unconvinced, she was less scornful than before. As the competition drew closer to its end, the atmosphere also became more and more intense. This was an elimination round. Furthermore, it was the round of 16 elimination stage. If defeated, it would mean elimination from the tournament. For every round won, one's ranking would increase. Undoubtedly, all the academies that participated in this tournament would give their all under such a circumstance. The more they watched the tournament, the more the spectators appreciated it. The most intense battle was about to start. How could they not be eager to watch? There appeared to be more spectators than usual in Douluo Plaza today. They managed to squeeze their way in through different forms of connections and through different channels, as they wanted to see this exciting duel, especially since Shrek Academy was competing in the morning, and their opponent had taken second place in the round-robin stage of the tournament. This attracted more attention than usual. The round of 16 to qualify for the quarterfinals will now begin. The first match will be between Shrek Academy and the Douluo Imperial Soul Academy. Competing members, please enter the waiting area to prepare for the match. On the stage, the referee's voice caused everyone to cheer louder and louder. The atmosphere reached a high in an instant. The peacekeeping army that was in charge of maintaining order raised their alertness to guard against any unprecedented situations. As if nothing had happened, the Douluo Emperor came to the top of the seawall very early on. Whenever Shrek Academy competed, he would come to watch. Under Wang Yan's guidance, Ma Xiaodao, Da Yuheng, Ling Luoken, Bei Bei, Xu Sanqi, Hua Yuao and Wang Dong entered the waiting area. When the competing members of the Sun Moon Imperial Soul Engineering Academy saw that Ma Xiaodao and Da Yuheng were present, they immediately raised their guard. In the previous tournament, Da Yuheng had appeared as the leader of the preparatory team, and Ma Xiaodao had not participated. Hence, Da Yuheng naturally drew more attention to himself. Wang Yan looked at his own team members. After pursing his lips, he said in a low voice, "It hasn't been not easy for us to reach this stage. It was only possible because of all your hard work and effort. All of you must remember not to allow any mistakes to render all our hard work for nothing. Shrek will win. Shrek will win." The seven of them shouted at the same time. Once they spoke these few words, all of them became focused, and their competitive streaks rose. Competition was the best way for one to grow. From the start of the tournament till now, Wang Yan could clearly see the growth that the seven students on the preparatory team had experienced. Their state of mind, emotions, thirst for competition and live experience had all improved at alarming rates. They were like depthless sponges that kept on absorbing elements that would aid in their growth. Wang Yan also knew about the arrival of Elder Sun, the tatty Douluo. After Elder Sun arrived, he found Wang Yan and relayed the decision of the conference held within the Sea God's Pavilion to him. Wang Yan had not understood at first, but as time passed, he became convinced of the decision. Maybe this would dim the glory of the Shrek Academy. However, would all the glory be lost if this batch of talented kids was able to mature? Not to even mention anything else, the simultaneous appearances of three twin martial souls in Shrek Academy was already worth a wager. Participants of both parties, please enter the stage. The referee's voice disrupted Wang Yan's thoughts. Ma Xiaodao was the first to stand up, and she advanced with huge steps. Da Yuheng, Ling Luoken, Bei Bei, Hua Yuao, Wang Dong and Xu Sanqi followed behind him. The seven of them streamed onto the stage. On the other side, the participants of the Douluo Imperial Soul Academy also walked towards the stage. They were similar to Shrek Academy in one aspect. Among their seven members, two were female. While it was a team competition, everyone from Shrek Academy understood that today's match would be different from any of the other matches they had fought before. A dim radiance flashed, and Hua Yuao smiled gently. He turned to look at Wang Dong, and noticed that Wang Dong was also looking at him. As their gazes met, they saw the resolve in each other's eyes. Ma Xiaodao and Da Yuheng stood at the very front. As for their opponents, the person who stood at the front was a youth who seemed to be around the same age as Da Yuheng. This youth had a huge bone structure, but he was very thin. His cheeks even appeared to be shriveled. However, his eyes were filled with energy. As he advanced a few steps and walked towards the referee, he said to the others from the Shrek Academy, "It's my honor to spar with Shrek Academy. Please advise us." The person who stepped forward was not Ma Xiaodao, but Da Yuheng. Da Yuheng took a large step forward and smiled gently, saying, "If I'm not wrong, you're called Bu Zujian. Am I right?" Bu Zujian was slightly stunned, and replied, "How do you know my name? I think I saw you in the last tournament." I am Da Yuheng. Da Yuheng introduced himself. He did not believe that the other party did not recognize him. As the team leader of the preparatory team of Shrek Academy the last time round, he had been a focal point for many of them. Bu Zujian squeezed out a slight laugh from his shriveled cheeks and said, "I hope to learn new things through this competition with Shrek Academy. Your wish will be granted." Da Yuheng replied. Bu Zujian's eyes flashed with a cold radiance. He only laughed without replying to Da Yuheng. The other participants of Douling's team were also very confident. It seemed as if they were pretty sure of defeating Shrek Academy. Both parties, please step back and prepare for the start of the match. The referee today looked to be around 60 years old, but he seemed to be much more composed compared to the previous referee. His cultivation also appeared to be greater. With him at the center, both parties seemed to have been separated by a barrier. Hua Yuao's mind quickly thought over the descriptions of the seven participants on the opposing team that Wang Yan had related to them. The team leader of Douling's team was Bu Zujian. His martial soul was the purple of brilliant bamboo, and he was a rank 57 assault system soul king. As an assault system battle soul master, his fighting strength was extremely tough. The purple of brilliant bamboo was also very unique. Their vice team leader was a youth who stood beside Bu Zujian and seemed to be 2 sizes bigger than K2. His name was Chen Yuan. His martial soul was a rare assault type. Martial soul, the Terraclaw bear. The Terraclaw bear was extremely powerful, and it was equally good at offense and defense. It could be considered a top-ranked martial soul. His soul power was also rank 53. The core of Douling's team was a thin youth that was standing at the back. His name was Xiaofeng. His martial soul belonged in the rare spiritual type category just like Hua Yuao. However, his was not a body soul, but was something called the mace pearl. His spiritual type martial soul was different from Hua Yuao's. It did not affect his opponents directly but was targeted towards the environment. It was extremely powerful, and Xiaofeng was one of the 5 soul kings. His soul power was only inferior to Bu Zujian's, and he was a rank above Chen Yuan at rank 54. The 3 of them were the absolute core of this team. Besides them, there were 2 more soul kings. They were Qi Hengyu, a rank 52 defense type soul king, and Han Linga, a rank 51 agility type soul king. Han Linga was one of the 2 female members. The remaining 2 soul ancestors were Tang Yunyu, who was an auxiliary system soul master, and Qingfeng, who was a control system soul master. The 2 of them each had their own special traits. The powers of their entire team were very strong, and were far superior to the Dusky Academy that had made a lot of trouble for Hua Yuao and the rest. As both parties stepped back, their formations had already started to change. On Shrek Academy side off, Ma Xiaodao and Da Yuheng were naturally the ones in front. Behind them were Bei Bei and Xu Sanqi, who stood slightly diagonally outwards. The 4 of them formed an arc. In the center at the back, Ling Luoken was there. Behind Ling Luoken were both Hua Yuao and Wang Dong. During the process of stepping back, Hua Yuao's spiritual detection sharing was already unleashed, and shrouded all of his team members. The entire stage was instantly enveloped by his spiritual detection. Even for the strongest Ma Xiaodao and Da Yuheng, they felt a wave of comfort and relief as they sensed the all-round detection from the spiritual detection sharing. Indeed, with such a powerful spiritual skill, they would be able to control the rhythm of the match. On the other side, Douling's team also unleashed their formation as they stepped back. However, a scene that left Shrek Academy shocked appeared. Bu Zujian did not appear in front of the team even though he was the team leader and an assault type soul master. Rather, he stood in the center. The ones who stood in front were Chen Yuan, the Terraclaw bear, and Qi Hengyu, the giant Bajra shield. Han Linga, the agility type soul king, concealed herself a short distance behind the both of them. The 2 control system battle soul masters stood at either 2 sides of her, protecting Bu Zujian in the center, as well as Tang Yunyu, the auxiliary type soul master. This formation was very weird. The assault system battle soul master actually stood at the position that the control system soul master should be standing in. What were they trying to achieve? In the face of such a situation, the reaction of Shrek Academy was to do nothing. They only watched their opponents carefully. Seeing that both parties were already in position, the referee gestured to the team leaders of both parties and shouted, "Match start." Before he even finished speaking, the referee quickly left the center of the stage. No one knew if he was fearful of the freezing effect that Ling Luoken had exhibited in Shrek's last match. The soul masters of both parties unleashed their martial souls at the first instant. Ling Luoken did not carry out an ultimate move like she did in the last round. She only summoned her own ice staff. Hua Yuao and Wang Dong worked well with each other to support her. The adhesive effect of his ultimate ice was on display now. Thick phoenix flames rose instantly on Ma Xiaodao's body. She could not hold it any longer. Even though Wang Yan had instructed her to conceal her true abilities, how could she listen to him? 2 yellow, 2 purple and 2 black soul rings, a total of 6 soul rings, were unleashed. Along with the burning phoenix flames, her might was shown. However, since Hua Yuao had shown to everyone that not everything that they saw was the truth, no one did not believe that a soul emperor had appeared even though they were stunned. Da Yuheng also exuded the aura of a soul emperor. As he roared, the white tiger possessed his body, and his entire body swelled up. His aura was not lacking either. The two Soul Emperors of Shrek Academy's official team had finally appeared on the competition stage of the Continental Advanced Soul Master Academy Soul Dueling Tournament for the first time. Thanks so much for watching this video. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Also leave a comment down below with suggestions on what novels to read.